Here we go. Cosmo Macero of Vanilla Associates, a man trying to come to grips with the retirement of Teddy Bruschi. Michelle McPhee of 96.9, a woman trying to come to grips with the loss of Gennaro Angiulo.
It's very true.
Hence the black, of course. She's still
that's
in mourning.
Why I'm in mourning, exactly. I was going to wear my black shades, but I thought it would be inappropriate.
That would be going too far. She's in for Peter Cadges, who's picked a good week to vacation in Maine. It's 40 degrees. Happy swimming, Peter. Enjoy that. You know what we're talking about, kids. Ted Kennedy and the replacement therein. Cosmo, on a scale of 1 to 10, likelihood that on January 19th, when they have the special election, that the winner of that special election's last name is Kennedy?
I think it's very likely. I really think that...
What part of 1 to 10 were you not getting? You hate when I pin you down on that stuff.
I'd say a 7.5 plus. I think Joe Kennedy is maybe the most credible, certainly an extremely credible candidate. I think it's likely that he wants to fulfill that legacy, and I think he walks right in if indeed he does that. So I think it's very likely.
It's a 9.8, PB. It's a 9.8.
Wow.
If Joe Kennedy announces, that's it. That's all she wrote. Look, these moonbats in Massachusetts voted no to repealing the state income tax, yes to legalizing pot, and yes to laying off 300 people at the dog tracks. What do you think is going to happen? It's a 9.8. They would want to continue Camelot.
Well, let's discuss this for a second. If it is Joe Kennedy and he says he runs, if anyone runs against him, Cosmo, don't you just flood the airways with ads of, and my good friend Hugo Chavez? I mean, will that work, I guess, is the question.
Maybe that's what you do. I don't think it will work. I just think that there's a legacy that he's been on the sidelines waiting to fulfill. I think he could have walked into the governor's office. I think that Senate seat is his for the taking. I think that's just the reality right now in Massachusetts.
All right, second question on a scale of 1 to 10, Michelle. What is the likelihood that Beacon Hill is going to give Deval Patrick the authority to name an interim replacement?
Again, sadly, I'm going to have to give that a 9.8. The hypocrisy law. Hooray for me, and stick it to the taxpayers law.
Hey, I'm starting to think that the only good reason to do this is to grant Senator Kennedy's last wish. I really do, and that's not so bad of a reason as far as I'm concerned.
Let me ask you this.
The whole idea about we need to be represented in the health. Come on, 4 months in Washington, they take Christmas off. It's nonsense. There's no real good reason except it's the guy's last wish. Let's fulfill the late senator's last wish.
If it was his last wish, though, aren't you slightly suspicious that he had all of his faculties at the time of the writing of that letter?
And the other question is, what was Strom Thurmond's last wish? He served longer than Ted Kennedy. What was his last wish, and was it fulfilled?
I don't know.
I've never heard of this before, where you get a list of, when I go, this is what I'd like to see happen, and everyone goes, oh, geez, we got to do it for them.
Do it for the children.
I just think the notion that this 4-month window is so critical on health care and so many issues that we got to have Mike Dukakis or somebody else in there, then I think it's ridiculous.
It's bad enough we brought up Gennaro Angiulo, but Mike Dukakis is seriously being said this would be a good idea.
No, this name has been bandied about now by high-ranking Democratic officials for more than a week.
Mike Dukakis, Tim Murray, there's a lot of different options.
But Mike Dukakis,
we
can't live without Mike Dukakis.
Where have you been living for the past 35 years?
That's exactly the point. I have lived here, so how could we ever say Mike Dukakis should be a senator? Does anybody forget 1987?
I think the argument is his role in this particular debate. He's going to go in there. He's going to vote like Teddy voted. He's going to make sure
Amtrak he can do for Congress. That'd be tremendous.
That would be fantastic. Who could have more federal cons running the streets of the United States?
I'm just telling you
it makes no
sense.
sense. Here's the other question for you two now. Deval Patrick picks up the phone. He calls you, Cosmo. He says, hey, look, I want to appoint you to take over for Ted, but you've got to promise me you won't run in 4 months. Are you taking that job?
In 2 seconds, absolutely. I'm on a plane. I'm in Washington. I'm parking myself at the Jockey Club, and I ain't moving for 4 months. Call me when the roll call comes.
Senator McPhee?
Are you kidding? McPhee for U.S. Senate. Woo! I am in.
I'm in. Come on.
I think what we've learned is both of you make too much money. If you can give up your life for 4 months to be screwing around down in it, there's no way I'm taking it. What if it turns out you like it and you've already promised them you won't run?
Hey, what is a promise in Massachusetts, VB? We all know that.
Then that would require actual work. It's a 4-month vacation. You go down there, you make the vote.
Exactly.
It's beautiful.
Hang out at the bar, have a blast.
Perhaps you didn't hear about the earth-shattering decisions that have to be weighed in on.
I think I already weighed in on how important it is to weigh in on that.
Duvall obviously going in for hip surgery. He's in the hospital already as we speak. Tim Murray is the acting governor right now. If he hasn't already done his first official duty, if you're Tim Murray, what's the first thing you do when you take over the governorship?
Fire my boss. That is the first official act. Fire the boss.
I don't like your chances of getting that Senate seat now.
But it's a good idea. You have to admit, and this is why you have to vote for me for U.S. Senate.
I thought you were going to say fire Aloisi the way you were going there. That makes you second official.
Aloisi is a standard. That is just automatic.
Oh, first official act or just first?
First act.
Little street hockey outside Danucci's office, maybe. Slide down the banister of the grand staircase. That's what I'm doing.
It'd be like a toga party. You can shave Senator Petroselli's legs again.
Sign a couple bills. Hey.
Don't you wrap yourself in the drapes just one time and take a couple of shots? I mean, don't you have to? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Finally, I've shown this earlier, guys, but the front page of the New York Post today.
I didn't get it.
Elliot Spitzer may be running for Senate next year.
I didn't get
Michelle, you're on a very short leash here. But
I'm not going to say it, BB. I'll let you.
You're both tabloid.
I'm still in trouble for the Slurpee.
You're both tabloid reporters. Is this not one of the best front pages you've ever seen?
Abso-freaking-lutely.
And does this not say to you, you know what, maybe we do need Elliot Spitzer around for a little while longer?
I would love for him to come back.
Yeah, we need him around to kick around even longer, absolutely. It's a great headline.
Spitzer, come back. I'm all for it.
That's okay, McPhee. I'll let that one go. MyFoxBoston.com if you'd like to weigh in. You can hear Michelle tonight at 7 on 96.9 WTKK. And you can email in and tell us how outrageous it is that Cosmo stiffed me and Gene to go to the Allman Brothers.